Hey, what's going on there with you, YouTube? Hey, I'm back at you today. We're going to talk about the 3 types of fear. 3 types of fear, okay? You saw in the thumbnail, it's talked about money, job, and the world and stuff like that. But I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to talk about the 3 types of fear that we all have dealt with at one time or another, okay? So here's the 3 types. Here's 3 right here. Number 1, the fear that we deal with, or the fear that's out there. The Bible talks about the fear of the Lord. It's in Psalms 111 verse 10. It says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and a good understanding have all they that do his commandments. Okay? Think about that for 1 second. So the first type of fear we're going to talk about is the fear of the Lord. I call them the most high. That's what I call them. Okay? And with that type of fear, that's a reverence. That's a respect level that we have. That he's sovereign. He's holy. He's the King of Kings. He's the Creator. He's Mr. Universe. He's the source. He controls it all. So that's the kind of fear that I'm talking about. It's a reverence and an awe. It's not this I'm scared and I'm shrinking and this and that. There may be a time when some calamity comes and you may feel that way, but not towards him, because he's controlling. He's allowing things. He's in control of everything. He's controlling the steering wheel of the universe. Okay. So number 2, the second type of fear that's prevalent is a natural or a human fear. That natural or human fear, it's like if you come under attack, or say a dog. I remember a situation where a dog chased me down the street, and I'm not joking. I was chucking, and I ran up on an SUV and got up on the top of it, and that dog was aggressive because I've been bit twice before. I said, I do not want this to be the 3rd time I get bit by a dog. So that's a natural fear, okay? When I talk about the 3 fears. Okay, so it's a natural human fear, or it's a fear of circumstances, danger. It could be danger. It could be death. Some people, really fear death. I've had my near-death experiences and almost died a few times. And so that's understandable. If someone fears dying. Okay, so another fear is it's a spirit of fear. Okay, the spirit of fear. That's a big one right there, because that's where we're operating in a place. This is a momentary situation that normally happens, or a situation, a death or attack. It's in a moment. But this here is where we're staying in a place where fear has taken up residency in this real estate up here. Okay. And then with it taking up residency, it manifests itself with stress, anxiety, those types of things. And what this type of fear says, the spirit of fear, it says, I really don't trust God. I trust in myself, and what I've done is not getting me the satisfaction or the peace that I desire. So that's where that spirit of fear comes in at. It's not trusting in the Most High, it's trusting oneself, okay? And what we're capable of doing can only go so far, but he can pick up where we leave off at and take us all the way. So with that, I want to talk about that. And then in the book of Job, Job 3:25, Job was going through a lot of things. A lot of us know the story of Job. He was a man, very wealthy. His family was blessed. His livestock was blessed. He was blessed with a lot of land, a lot of money, lost a lot of things. His kids passed away and died. And Job, his wife told him, why don't you just curse God? And Job says, I won't do that. But see, Job was a man of faith, but he also said in Job 3:25, he says, that thing which I feared has come upon me. That thing which I feared. So we sometimes have moments where we have these certain different types of fear situations that we may deal with. But the thing is that we don't stay in this place, the spirit of fear. Because it says in the word in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6, it says, without faith, Hebrews 11, 6. It says, without faith, it's impossible to please God. Yeah, it's impossible, because fear is the polar opposite of faith. We can't have them both coexist in the same place. So we need to keep that in mind. So what does the Most High say about fear? Well, he tells us, he says, I have not given you a spirit in 2 Timothy 1:7. 2 Timothy 1:7. The Most High says, I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of peace, of power, and of a sound mind. Wow. Peace, power, and a sound mind. See, sometimes the battlefield is just up in here, and we have to sometimes think about what we're thinking about, and we have to take and stand guard. It's like I'm gonna stand guard and guard this thing. We have to stand guard against some of these thoughts and things that we allow to come in. And how do those things gain access? Well, it gains access through our eyes, through our ears. What are you watching? What are you watching? Are you watching a bunch of negative stuff? Are you listening to a bunch of negative things? And then those things is painting a picture. And then that picture is painting a feeling and emotion. And that feeling and emotion is fear. Now, what is feelings? Feelings are just energy and motion, okay? And that's why Job says, that thing which I have feared has come upon me. Because when it moves from here into the body and you start to feel it, then we start generating some energy. I don't know what you call it, but we generate an energy force, then we start to bring things to us, okay? They call it the law of attraction. So that doesn't just work in a positive sense, it also works in a negative sense, okay? So with that, I just want to encourage you to control what you can control. Everything else, as far as a job, as far as what's going on in the world, we have no control over some of this stuff. Some of this stuff is just above our pay grade. And so we have to realize that I can only control what I can control. And then we need to accept that and then just let that stuff go, because that's all that we really can do is control what's in our world. We can't control what's going on the other side of the ocean. We can't control what's going on with the job, whether a company's going to decide to lay you off or not, whether a business is going to shut down, whether it's going to be another C-19 event, or whether it's going to be things coming over here. Coming over here, we have no control over that. But what we do have control over is whether we're going to stay in a place of fear, the spirit of fear, or we're going to stay in a place of the spirit of faith, is that I'm going to trust and believe my Savior. And if that relationship needs attention, take the time to nurture that relationship, rekindle the fire. It's kind of like dating. You got to sometimes rekindle the fire. So rekindle that fire within your relationship. I hope you like what I shared with you today. If you really like it, I encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. And then ring that notification bell. As I say, ring that bell. You can ring my bell. You get the picture. Get on, ring that bell. Hey, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Appreciate your time. Thank you.